of Back-to-Back Experience. I am Sainid Marie. Let's check out the topic for today. Now that we know the topic, let's go ahead and head onto the chat room and hear what the cast has to say about that.
For me, I'm like, no, not really, because they're also people, you know what I mean? Like, because a kid looks up to me like a role model doesn't mean I have to be perfect. Like, I get it. Like, everybody makes mistakes, so we can't really put the blame on them or try to hold them accountable, because I might make the same mistake as well, you know what I mean? So that's just how I feel, so I don't know about y'all.
I think this is the first episode you and I have like agreed. Oh my goodness! So, about time.
I don't know. I think it's definitely complicated. You can't. If we're holding celebrities to a higher standard, then we're giving them a status that doesn't befit anything that they've done or accumulated in their lives. Like, if I'm holding a celebrity to that status, am I holding politicians to that same status?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, am I talking to my kids about all the other people they need to be looking up to besides that celebrity? Like, there's so many other things you could be looking up to or doing philanthropy-wise or politic-wise. Like, ask yourself, right? I don't care about celebrities, but do you know who I do hold to a higher standard? Amal Clooney. Why? Because she's an actual politician, because she actually works with the UN, because she actually has standards to uphold, because her philanthropy goes a lot of places. Yeah. Do I care about George? No, but he's a nice man. Do I want to hold him to a different standard? Yes, because he's not in the same position she is. Therefore, them being a couple doesn't change the fact that she still has an actual priority in this life that I need to hold accountable. His, not so much. If he stops being an actor today, is that going to change the world? No.
I think to piggyback off what you said, I think it's important to also understand what we consider a celebrity for ourselves, because it's what we teach our kids and what we teach ourselves and condition ourselves to look into. So just seeing somebody and thinking, oh, because this person is famous or this person is seen on television consistently, oh, so now they're a celebrity. I think celebrities are somebody we can decide for ourselves, because that's who you want to follow, who you want to look at, who you feel like motivates you.
What about an instance of like someone like a Kim?
A who?
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, I was like,
once I say Kim, you know what I'm talking about.
You talking about Lil Kim? I was like,
So I believe that to an extent we should hold celebrities to a standard. When you get to a point in society where you are looked at often, you need to be able to act in a particular way. So just like with our celebrities, our politicians, our lawyers, our doctors, we don't want to be seeing a doctor smoking pot or like doing drugs but coming in and saying, oh, don't do drugs, this is going to happen to you. I think that's the same standard that we should have for our celebrities. On the other hand, I think that we live in a fantasy. It's a fantasy to think that society doesn't raise our kids. Raising our kids starts at home, but society also has a role to do in it. Unfortunately, with our kids nowadays, they're kind of scary because of social media. So let's just be realistic, guys.
So
no, not that kid.
What was the question?
But someone like that, like
you don't
it's not
have
like
to,
you choosing. Like nobody's really appointing her. Like she's already a celebrity, like in everybody's eyes, right?
Right.
So whatever she does, regardless of if you want to see it or not, like it's on Snapchat.
Whatever she does is above our tax bracket, so it really
not really
doesn't
though.
matter.
Kim Kardashian
She can do
somehow
whatever she wants
finessed
to.
her way into the White House, somehow finessed her way past the whole prison system to release a bunch of inmates. Quite frankly, Kim Kardashian is doing exactly. Remember what I'm talking about? Like, that's the difference between being a philanthropist and just being a celebrity. Kim realized for her image, you know what? I got a lot of money, and my husband's black, and all of these people around me are significantly darker than I am. My kids are black. Am I going to sit here and not know what these issues are for the community that my children and family deal with? No.
But
so what does she decide to do? She philanthropizes and said,
but all what she says is just based off white privilege, though.
period. Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter, though. Like,
matter.
you're never gonna let white people help you at all whatsoever, because it's always going to be like if they're white, they're white. But if they are in their whiteness and helping you, then let the help be helped.
That's the privilege of it.
How are they helping
help,
though? Like,
almost
she
like
just recently started doing this. Like all this time, she's been making money off selling naked pictures and videos and you know.
So that's what you have to
condone. Like my question is, would you want your child seeing that? Like that's what I'm saying.
What you have to condone.
That's what you decide.
But
that's the celebrity that you decide.
No, I'm saying like, would you want your kid looking up to someone like a Kim?
I would want my daughter to say, okay, that incredible businesswoman somehow made a lot of success off of something that could have literally ruined her life. I will take it only for that.
That's like, I mean,
so you can tell your kid.
In theory, that sounds good.
It sounds good, right?
But wait a minute. Do you want your daughter to go through the steps that Kim went through to get to where she got?
Of course not.
But what if she decides? I mean,
that's
Kim.
That's what she
knows the story.
You know what I mean? So what?
But does she know the story? Are you teaching your daughter the full story?
I mean, come on, we got the internet.
But you have to ask yourself that question. So, but are you taking responsibility as a parent to teach your daughter or child the values in the story, regardless of what the story surrounds? I'm not teaching my daughter to be a sex tape having, oh, I want to do this and be a celebrity. No.
So
I am teaching my daughter to change a bad situation to a good one.
I think you guys are like, you're twisting her words, right? And at the end of the day, it is not Kim Kardashian's job to raise your kid. You raise your child, right? So if I'm telling my daughter, hey, this is the business aspect of her. She took something bad and she did this. So God forbid, but if any of our kids' sex tape leaked, Kim Kardashian would be a great example.
There's a lot of people who make sex tapes and nothing has come about it. Like, you don't hear about her. So it would be a waste to release a sex tape and make absolutely positively no man. Like, that would be a waste of your time and the person's time. So what are you doing? You're doing it wrong, clearly.
So what you're saying is, yo, listen, don't make a sex tape. But if you do, look at Kim.
Like everybody else, I agree that we shouldn't hold celebrities to a higher standard. However, I think they do need to understand the influence they have on millions of people. But really, the responsibility lies at home. So hopefully, you're raising your kids to understand that just because you see it online doesn't mean you need to do it. So, not everybody could be like me.
Because they're celebrities.
No.
I'm going to take it back to the basic. What's the meaning of a celebrity?
We don't know.
Okay.
Is that one
Who's
that
a celebrity?
is? Oh, I got it.
Okay, can you tell me, please?
I have
What's the meaning of
my
a celebrity?
definition.
Let's go back. Yeah.
To me, it's just one that is celebrated. So that's why Instagram allow all of us to be celebrities. Everybody feel like a celebrity.
All right.
I mean, you can have 10, 20.
All right, Corey, I know you have your weakness and things you go through. So tomorrow night I see you on TV and you're big, famous. Does that make you any special?
No.
Does that make you means you don't have any weakness? And things
I'm with
struggle
you. I'm with
okay,
you.
so celebrities should not be
They
held to any lifestyle.
But in US they are though, which is crazy. Like for instance,
Colin
Kaepernick. He was a lot of people do. That's what I'm saying. Like
people do.
People take LeBron James as a
LeBron
celebrity.
James take Oprah,
and it's a basketball player. He you know what I mean. He has no clue what you're doing at home, but as a kid, you're looking up to this guy like, I want to do everything he's doing.
You want to be a good basketball player. That part, yes.
Or a good husband,
yes.
That part, yes.
He never had a dad, but he came out a good guy. He's been with the same girl for like since high school. You know what I mean? So
there's a lot of things you can
like
take
that.
from
Yeah, you know what I mean? You want your kids to like look up to him, not necessarily being like a basketball player, just like as a man. You know what I mean? As a person.
So if we have someone like LeBron James, why can't we hold other celebrities to our standard?
That's what I'm saying. Not even just celeb. Like she said.
Like I feel like we shouldn't hold celebrities to a high standard because, for example, someone like LeBron James, for instance, the dude has been perfect, like literally for like 20 going on 20 years now. He's been perfect. No, so like if he cheats, would I now put that against him? Like, oh, he cheated, so then he fell off the standard he was on. You know what I mean? So I feel like you should be able to just look at what he did and just pick and choose. If you're smart enough, just pick and choose the good parts and leave out the bad. Because in this day and age, we're in a society that holds athletes to a higher standards than like doctors or lawyers. Because if an athlete should like hit his girl, and a doctor does the same thing, I bet you the athlete is going to be on the news faster than the doctor. So for me, I'm like, anybody that's like above regular should be held at a standards if that's what we're going to do, I guess.
So here's the thing,
doctors,
right? I feel
lawyers.
like we're all in agreement that celebrities should not be held at a higher standard. However, just to play devil's advocate, what do you guys think about celebrities who have influence over a lot of people who say negative things about a small demographic or something?
Like
you know what I mean? So like, I know we're saying like you shouldn't be held at a higher standard, but there's also the other side, right? Like, live your life, whatever. But then when you start, I don't want to say brainwashing, but when you start manipulating the way people think, because I look up to you so much, but now I'm sitting here saying like, you know, I don't like black people, I'm not for gay marriage, whatever my views are, because I'm living my life, I'm saying out loud, and now I'm like changing how people think. Like, how do you feel about that?
A very quick one. I think some celebrities actually have, like you said, they have the power to influence people. Like an example would be Rihanna. She had an issue with Snapchat one time. Then she was like, "Oh, you people should actually snub these people." And now Snapchat recorded some downfall in their download numbers and all. I think if you are in the spotlight, you should not be. You should not be held to some special standard. However, you need to be conscious of the way you act in public, because deep down, subconsciously, you feel what you do. Some kids somewhere are actually looking up to you, and they are actually modeling your behavior. So you want to be conscious about the way you go about the way you do things in the public. I was going to say some other thing, but I can't remember right now.
But unfortunately, to add to that, right? Not a lot of the things that have like exposed people was not done in public. You know what I mean? Like, we're hanging out, there's a video of me saying the N-word, but I'm white, and then that gets leaked. You know what I mean? That's been the issue that's been happening.
Are you going to agree with me that a lot of youths, young guys out there, they tend to smoke weed, pick up the habit of smoking weed because they actually see
because of rappers,
their celebrity idol smoking weed, and they are like, oh, if he can do it, if he can do it and is actually successful in his career, I should also be able to do it and maintain the same sanity as well. And also, what I wanted to say just came back. Even if you are looking up to anybody in the society, be it celebrity, whatever, it is important to know that you sieve the kind of information you take in from them. Your journeys are different. So if you are smart enough, you know when to pick up something from them and when not to pick up something from them. That is going to help you in navigating.
Not everybody's like that, though. Not everybody can make that cautious decision.
So
like,
I said,
you know what, this person did
which
this.
is why I put the clause, if you are smart enough.
Okay.
I actually don't think we should hold the celeb to any special standard. However, I believe as a celebrity, I'm actually not one, but I think as a celebrity, you should be conscious of what you do, because you should have it at the back of your mind that what you do might actually be influencing some couple of people out there. And as for we are actually looking up to the celebrities as well, I feel it is important we sieve the information we take in from them, because that is actually the best way to enjoy people from afar and even your fellow friends and all.
But that's kind of what we're going into, though, is that, you know, being a celebrity is just a status that society gives you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, different people get that celebrity status doing different things. You know what I mean? If we can celebrate, you gotta remember, like, look at Hollywood, for example. Harvey Weinstein had literally the most profitable, like, again, this man was backed by Oprah, profitable company in Hollywood. This man was making a lot of money. He had deals on the table. He controlled so many roles. And he was in so many rooms. Yeah. This man took all of his celebrity status and used it for evil. Mm-hmm. And because of that, because of the attachment to his name now, a lot of those other celebrities are smeared because of that. So yeah, we can pretend to hold celebrities accountable to whatever, but in reality, again, they're just people like us. They're making the same very poor decisions that we are, destroying their careers and livelihood just like us. So if we're going to hold them like more accountable, then we just need to look ourselves at a society. I could care less what Miley Cyrus is up to today, tomorrow, or next week. But I bet you anything, every news blog, every newspaper, every Snapchat, every Instagram, when she so much as sneezes, is going to put her image in my face so that I pay attention to that versus everything else that's going on. You guys have to think about it. What we're talking about when we talk about celebrities getting that status is we're talking about a society that is putting celebrities so in our faces that we're just ignoring all of the greater things. I could care less what most of these celebrities are doing, but again, it's about their politics. It's about what they're doing as people. Like Tyler Perry, why should be celebrated? Yes, as a celebrity, but yes, as the first black artist, actually the second black man to own a major network studio.
Who was the first?
I believe, well, because technically, even if you look at overall, I'd say, I don't know, there's got to be.
I was like, I think there's more than one, actually.
For real?
Because he's not technically the first. And
Just like
Oprah
an
is the
old
first so far as like
back then.
everybody, but he's the second in that sense. So look at the accomplishment he just made. He has started the careers of all of our favorite celebrities, a lot of the people we know and love. But he couldn't get there without having celebrity status, without having to go through it, without having to be held to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Because we hold these celebrities to a higher standard, this is why they're going to executive rooms and getting in competition with so many actors and actresses for these roles, to put these movies and opportunities in front of you to show your stories and to represent you.
So what about like all these Instagram
Influencers.
models, exactly, influencers, like YouTubers, Instagrammers, you know what I mean? Like for instance, let's say there's this like model, but she was kind of big before. I'm just bringing this up. She was big, then she went through plastic surgery, right, to lose all the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Then she started from she got I think a contract with Herbalife. The fitness stuff.
Oh yeah, the Herbalife.
So now she started selling that, like portraying that to people, like that was
That
what
she had
transformed. You know what I mean? So now that's going to fuck up a lot of people. You know what I
But
mean?
there's consequences. You're forgetting all of this.
Not
stuff.
really.
Yes,
Because
no.
what are you going to do?
Yes,
you can't
So for her,
do
for
anything
instance,
though.
when people discover that, unfortunately, there are actually a lot of rules against that. People do forget that there are a lot of rules about portraying and falsely portraying those advertisements.
But it's a possibility though. That
it's
being
done very
done.
often.
It's done
done-
almost
very-
every
It's
single
a lot,
day.
but it's
And just like the waist belt,
Exactly.
all the way
Yeah, all
down,
the
all
stuff,
that
yeah.
flat tummy
Every
tees for
single
just,
everybody,
day.
I think
right?
it's about common sense as well. Like seeing that and just thinking to yourself, like, I've seen you 2 months ago, and I doubt
Exactly.
this drink has put you in this position. And just taking that in, I think that's also about like not allowing the social media lifestyle to influence you. Like you can look at it and then like, oh, okay, whatever, good for her.
A pyramid
And
scheme
just
is all a pyramid scheme, regardless
just
of
let it
the
go.
size.
Everybody like
Let's
that.
just be realistic. A lot of the kids that are growing up in the social media generations are being influenced by these people.
By these
So like we are all older,
lack of sense
but
of it.
13-year-olds, 14-year-olds,
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of them
the
are
way.
killing
That's the way
themselves
they're going to
by
start
seeing
thinking. Like,
these
oh,
things.
this.
But that's
It's
the
not
lack of
commentary.
sense of it.
It's not-
That's
I don't
the
think
lack
it's
of
a- I
sense
don't
of it.
think
Because
it's a
you
lack
common
of
sense
sense.
thing.
It's not a lack of sense.
Yeah.
They grew up in a very different generation than we did.
Who's going to be blamed?
Right,
Exactly.
like because they're allowed that freedom to go online.
I
So
think
it's
that
lack
So
of
that
that.
goes-
You have to tell your kids what's realistic and what's not.
That goes
realistic.
back to the
so.
higher standards that we hold them on
Exactly.
towards,
Yeah.
basically. Like if we hold you to a higher standard, then you shouldn't be doing that kind of thing. That's basically
But
falsification.
that's not.
But we're asking them
Their
more
job
from
is not to
themselves
raise
than
your
we're
child.
even asking of ourselves.
Whatever
to
they
those
do on
kids.
their own to make money is what they do on their own to make money. If you go to work
But
and
it's
somebody else
affecting
sees you
you,
doing
though.
something
That's
and
what
they
I'm
expect
saying.
you at your own
It's
job
affecting
to
people
be
around
influencing
But
your
I think that we're
child, you
also
can't be blamed
thinking,
for that.
I
I
think we're
can't
also
blame you.
expecting that parents are always watching what
Exactly.
their kids are doing.
No, they're
my
not.
parents do not know what my
Yeah.
parents do not know what I'm always doing on my phone.
So I guess
my
you guys-
my parents don't know what my little brother is always doing on his
Yeah.
phone. We have to be realistic of the generation
We're in.
the 2 generations after all of
Yeah.
us. They are growing up in a very, very different generation and climate than we are. So we have to be kind of empathetic and realistic about the generation that they're in, which is social media.
So, folks, wait.
It's not about
Some of these
monitoring.
things
It's
are
about changing our society, the way that our society is going, especially with what you were saying.
society
But
starts
these,
at home.
Right.
You are a society.
Yeah,
Your
some of
parents
this can be
decide.
controlled though.
Right. Like
If you
just
look
don't-
into the roots of TV,
social media, it was meant to promote the propaganda.
Exactly.
To sell what they want you to see.
Exactly.
Correct.
That's the fruit why it's funded, so you can't even control that at all.
You can't.
That's affecting everybody.
If you look at what was happening during World War II, there were all these posters everywhere. If you look at World War II, there was all these posters everywhere. People started becoming influenced and saying Russia's in this, Russia's in that. That's propaganda.
Yeah.
That's the way that propaganda works. It's not about what your parents are doing, what your parents are not doing. It's propaganda. What a person sees is what they take in, is what their mind then becomes.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Okay, so then where's the filter that says, from the household that I was raised in, I was raised to ask you a question. So if you're going to tell me I lost this weight through Herbalife, I'm going to be like, doesn't look like it.
So out of the million people that sees that, you go and access social media, wherever.
But do you know it's legal to have a false advertisement? It's legal in Colorado.
I'm not saying
it's I'm telling you, go check.
She's a
legal.
I agree. I agree, but that's what I'm saying. It's still the high standard that we're holding them to.
So wait. Hold your household to a higher standard.
But you're saying hold your household to a higher standard, but you're saying society begins at home. But most of the things that you were influenced by, most of the actions that you take right now are no influence from your house.
That's a whole different topic, though.
Yeah, that's a whole different
topic. That's a big topic right there.
That's exactly
it's a huge topic.
But that's what you guys are saying.
We focus on it. Celebrity should be held to a higher standard.
We're still saying it's still the same thing.
Celebrities and us being able to hold them to a higher standard. No, we shouldn't hold celebrities to a higher standard. Why? Because they are human just like the next human. Now, I heard a young lady say, but if they're professional, should we hold them? Yes, in their profession. The problem is we give them some type of moral high standard that they didn't ask for, and when they fall, we act like the world ended.
No. It's still the same thing. It's still the celebrities that we look at.
Let me throw in part of this. Okay, we're currently debating this. Celebrities should be held to a higher standard. Okay, so what about the celebrities who do not vaccinate their kids? Ask yourself what you do. So whether society taught you at home or whether you got it from the internet, what about the celebrities who do not vaccinate their kids?
There's still a form of propaganda that's influencing them to believe that vaccination is
so you have to that's the point, right? So as a parent,
I'm a scientist, I believe in vaccinations, but there are scientists, world-renowned scientists that believe that vaccinations are bad. And there's that propaganda, back to this word, that is allowing people to believe that.
Where do you stop the propaganda? Your children.
Propaganda is everywhere.
No. But where do you start teaching your children?
If you're teaching I believe in vaccination, but someone else might not believe in vaccination, and they will teach your kid not to believe in vaccination. And
how are you going to curb that?
That's not
topic. It basically starts from one person that it's very renowned to say that thing, and then someone takes it and passes it on.
So
again, it goes back to
her kids.
Hold on. My question is because
Kat Von D is very celebrity and she does not vaccinate her kids.
I don't know what that is.
That's not making sense.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, but my question, it's like I think she's like a tattoo artist or something like that.
Yeah, so the tattoo artist, makeup artist.
Who don't? But my question is, because you were talking about vaccinations, right? Because there's something that your parents are going to believe, and I think for a long time, our generation, we were exposed to a lot of things. We were exposed to crack cocaine. We were exposed to meth.
I wasn't on my generation.
Like we had the whole dare to what was it, like dare to say no or whatever. Those things were prevalent. Like those were things that people in our generation were experiencing. We would see drugs on these music videos. We would see naked girls. We would see alcohol. And that was an issue, like, alcoholism, the rap videos are making kids want to drink, and those were all propaganda as well, because they were selling Ciroc, Diddy always had his own little, like, alcohol, whatever. He still does. He always shows it. So it's always propaganda. Now you're telling me that your children are going to be in your house. They're going to be watching these music videos, and they're going to go out and buy these drinks because there's no home training anywhere. They can't think outside for themselves. Like your parents.
Right back to you, a pastor's child, right? With all the Christian whatever stuff that they have at home, that do what?
You can't
You can't exactly, but that's
children.
You're saying, yeah, basically
I'm
saying
saying
the exact opposite on the other
force
side.
them though. Talk about pastor's kid. That's a whole different thing. Like that's a standard in its own self. Being a pastor's kid is a standard in its own
Exactly.
self.
But do you notice that most pastor kids are the worst people outside?
Hold on, let her say.
But just to counter what you're saying,
Okay.
you said during our generation, we didn't grow up in the age of I had a phone when I was 10 years old.
Social media was very.
We did. I did not have I did not have an iPhone at the age of 8 years old. I did not have an iPad at the age of 4 years old. I know a 4-year-old who carried the little iPads everywhere. That is the significant difference.
You don't have to give them the iPad.
Because now
But a lot of people
you don't have to give them the
I think that it is definitely a part of our society now that we do need to pay a little bit more attention to the type of technology that we consume as individuals, is that we allow our friends, family, even our children, when we do have them, to consume. It'll come to a point where whether your child is being influenced by people like Kim Kardashian or she's being influenced by people like LeBron James, these can turn out to be good or bad role models in your life, and that we should definitely make sure that even if we are giving our tools to the next generation, that we're allowing them to distinguish for themselves what actually benefits them and what kind of tears them down. You know, it is definitely an epidemic where a lot of children are viewing these things, and that we are using that celebrity status as an excuse to allow these things to infiltrate our lives. But I think everybody has a little bit of common sense, and that we can go off of some different information so that we can all come together and understand this world a little bit better and definitely make it a better place eventually. So hopefully we'll get there, and hopefully we'll all be a little bit more conscious of what we consume.
Go ahead, Sam.
In summary, it's so hard to break the system which has been built to drive the capitalist economy, which is meant to sell how much, whatever they want to you through the social media, through TV. It's all about how much money I can put in my pocket. That's how the American economy is built. So you can't control that. It's been going on for 200 years. It's great. That's why we have the richest men in the world in America. So it's going to take the grace of God to really grow up your child in the way you want them to go. For them to become who they want, they have to make their decisions. This is what we've been experiencing for our forefathers. It's not just overnight. So celebrities being held to a higher standard is not realistic. I could look at LeBron James. If I want to be a basketball player, I want to learn his skills. I want to be a good basketball player. Doesn't mean I have to copy every little thing he does. I could look at the good part of a good businessman and copy that part. That's the only part we can teach our kids. That's it.
So I think I don't think they should be celebrities should be held to high standard, honestly. But I want us to agree that what they do influence millions of people out there. I gave the example of Rihanna the other time. Then right now, I think some couple of years back, guys started pulling their shorts down. This is because their favorite rapper is actually doing it on screen, and they saw it and they feel like, oh, it's cool. So, in as much as I know we can't even hold them to it has to be their own doing. I think they should just be conscious about the way they act and the way the messages they pass across to the youth out there. I would have loved to say more, but
oh, can I? Okay. So I think that as far as the parenting side, like I think I heard someone was asking, like, basically what can the parents do in this society? Is really just attack your kids' definition of things. Like, so the celebrities is going to do what they're going to do. Propaganda is going to come, lies is going to come, truth is going to come. But teaching your kid how to define who they are, that's the counteractive to, you know, the influence. And no celebrity shouldn't be held to a higher standard. That's how you get your feelings hurt. Because you're putting them on a pedestal they didn't ask for. They're just trying to do the best that they can in life, and somehow they got up there. They don't know how they got up there. Now you putting them on a pedestal that they didn't ask for, and when they fall off, you acting all hurt. And they like, I didn't tell you that I wasn't going to do that.
I didn't tell you to come to my house and talk to me.
So, but I think, you know, some people are just yarning dust because you need to hold celebrities to a higher standard, honestly, because you're not going to place Jay-Z and Brother Rich or whatever his name is on the same standard. When they sign contracts, they're going to have different, you're going to hold Jay-Z to a higher standard, you're going to give him more whatever on his contract just because, I mean, it's Jay-Z, he said he worked for that pedigree. So for sure you have to hold them to higher standards, and people that look up more to Jay-Z are not going to have the same respect for Roddy Ricch, because I mean they're two different kind of artists and two different kind of musicians. So we should hold our celebrities to higher standards, and we should also know that whatever they do, like others said, influence our children and our society at large.
So, yeah, just parents should just try to attack their kids' definition, of themselves, and let the propaganda, the lies, and the truth be what it is.
I think, yes, we weren't in the generation of having phones and everything, and having YouTube and all these things, but now that we are in those generations, us as individuals, we have the common sense to teach our children the common sense. Like, hey, listen, what you're watching on YouTube, these little relationship goals or these hair makeup routines and all these things, you don't have to listen to that. And you don't have to buy your kids iPads. You don't have to buy them the latest phone or the latest gadget. Like, you don't have to be that person. Because I know when I went to school, there was people with newer phones or whatever coming out, and my parents didn't want to buy me a phone. And I was just like, oh, okay.
The kids nowadays get depressed, and what do you do?
Rob, that's
Rob, right? Though,
what do you do?
I'm just gonna die. Everybody's gonna die. Like you don't have to feed into themselves. They're just gonna die. Honestly, if that's the case, you just look at your kid and be like, hey, listen, I'm not giving you a phone. If he says I'm not gonna let him die. Just let him die. That's the point.
Make some more. Cut that part. Final thoughts. The last round.
I think definitely it's the parents who have to determine. We, the people who live on this earth, not up there with the celebrities and influencers, your household makes the society. You make changes and decisions that affect us more than what Kim and whatever her name does. And it's just like, your kids need to think. At the end of the day, I expect you as my offspring to have a brain that thinks.
Man, you better think.
At least. The other million, that's not problem.
All right.
I have something.
So, go ahead.
I haven't.
Do you want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah,
so just like that, it is the same thing. Like at the end of the day, there's so many expectations that we have as people, and there's so many expectations that we put on children. But you have to let a child be a child. Like a lot of these days, like a lot of parents forget that when you're raising your child and lying about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all these things, you're setting them up sometimes to have these expectations of things in a society that don't really match, right? Let's be clear. When I was little, did I think in my 8-person, black person household with no chimney that some old white dude was going to come down and give me gifts? Absolutely not. Imagination is powerful. It wasn't powerful enough for that. It was unrealistic. So at the end of the day, you ask yourself the same thing with your kids, right? Am I going to put unrealistic expectations that you aren't going to benefit from in your view and then not guide you on how to get through that? Exactly. No. Guess what? You can't set your daughter up on YouTube and then be confused when she might end up with an eating disorder and want like 6 tans. No. You're going to be like, oh, I forgot that she's just been watching Kim Kardashian all day. Right. And I forgot she's just been watching the same thing over and over. You have to take responsibility. We are not taking responsibility as a society to say, hey kids, yes, we want to give you this technology so that you can better yourselves, so that you can be educated, you can do all this, but maybe we should protect you a little bit more. Yeah. We're not protecting these kids anymore. We're just saying, oh, hey, little 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, we don't want you to be noisy in the dining room. Here's an iPad. I had a discussion with my friends. I said, whoa, so you're telling me you would rather put a device in front of your child so that they can't be a child in a child's place, rather than allow them to do what they do as kids? This is what we are doing. We're doing this to kids. Who buys the devices?
We do. And I totally
Who has the account?
But that's it for today. So
that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the video till the end. Make sure you like and subscribe. Turn on that bell so you don't miss any more videos from us. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at BK2BK Experience. Until next episode, peace.